Hi, good day everyone. This is Clarence from Simple Retail. Today we're going to discuss how to set up your stock items correctly within IQ. I see this all the time with meetings that I have with my clients or training I do where they do not set up the stock items correctly. They're running a perpetual stock system and it causes ledger imbalances, stock ordering problems, and a lot of other things happening. So today I'm going to try to attempt just the quick way to make sure that your items are set up correctly so that there's no year-end balances where your stock on hand ledger account is not balancing to your stock holding accounts that you have. So this run through a quick step. It's only this covers two of the main things first, and once you do this correctly, you will not have an issue with your stock. So let's start. So basically in IQ, we have two different type of items. You have what they call a stock item and a non-stock item. And stock items is stock basically that you buy and you sell. You purchase it, you did a GRV on it, and you're going to decide, oh, I'm going to go sell, and we're going to put a markup on it, and we're going to sell it. It has a cost, and that's how we determine between a non-stock and a stock item. Where again, a non-stock item is again a service type item where you will have, say for instance, you don't buy it, it's a service you render. In as one example, where you fix your service or labor charges that you can do, even delivery charges that you have. So that is the two different types of items that you have in IQ. Sorry, I'm talking crap here. So yeah, you'll see they have brought in a buyer item, but it's essentially the same as a non-stock item because you don't physically. This is a better management, but they are three now, but these two are basically the same because this is an in and out, and this is a labor, a service or labor type item. Okay, so when you select stock item, what you'll find is that a few things are enabled. If you select non-stock item, you'll see the system will take off certain things. So just have a look at that again. Stock item has lifetimes and so forth in. Non-stock items, if you go there, you'll see go to stock and pricing. If it wants you to create it, it's fine. Yeah. Okay, so let's just do any department. So stock pricing, I've got a couple of settings on. It should not. Let's run through it. Doesn't matter. Okay, yeah. Okay, so under stock, if it's a non-stock item, you will see that these fields here changes. Okay, so if I go change it back to a stock item, you'll see that this here becomes unit cost. If I take it back to a non-stock item, it gives you a little bit of warning. We can cover that again. It changes to cost as percentage of selling. Now, even this has an effect on your items, but we'll cover these two functions and what they really do in the background when you choose that. But for now, we're not going to cover that. It's going to take too long. I want it to be short and sweet, and that's what we're going to try to get to with this video. So we're going to focus on, if you set up a stock item first, and generally the biggest thing that you need to keep in mind is when you set it up is your departments. Now, if it's a stock item, if you double click on your department, you say this is stock department. And just how I got there so quickly, instead of going the long route of utility setup, module parameters, major stock tab, and so forth, you can just double click in this field. It opens up the same screen, and it's quicker to modify and change things. And then if we edit the stock department, you'll see that in this case, it's a stock department, that's your sales and your export sales, which you can change if it's different. If you want to manage every single department in its own, I put it now, cost center and so forth, you can have all this different. Most clients that I know keeps everything the same. So that your sales account is the same for say your power tools department. But you can have a different sales account for, again, every single department you set up. In this case, we're keeping it the same. The important thing here is we cover this stock account. Now, to have it perpetual and periodic, and we'll cover this. Is the two. This, besides just choosing it on a stock item, you need to make sure you're choosing the right posting method. So on the department, we look, if it's a stock item and it's perpetual, we're looking at this ledger account. Okay, and this ledger account is for perpetual. So what we track here is sales, stock, and cost of sales. So we're going to talk. This is the three different ledger accounts when we have perpetual stock running, a perpetual stock system running. If it's periodic, then we only track sales and purchases, which means we're only going to track whatever sold, what the value of a sale is, and when we buy it, it only tracks this purchase account here. But again, we're setting up a stock item, so what we will have it set as is perpetual stock control, which we will then focus on sales, stock, and cost of sales. So when we sell, it's going to affect your sales account, your stock account, and your cost of sales account. And your cost of sales is basically what you bought the item for at the time when you bought it. Okay, so that's important for a stock item. Okay, if it's a non-stock or a labor type item, if you just go back here, a non-stock item, it will be set as, edit it again, it will be set as a periodic stock department. Okay, and that again, we only track sales and we only track purchases if they are purchases. So it's an outsourced labor where you've taken in a power tool as an example. You don't fix it. You send it to another company to fix. They will basically send you an invoice for service charge, and that's where you can say you can use this and change it. I wouldn't recommend making it the same as your stock account because it will mess up your stock holding. It's something different. It's called purchases account, but it could be outsourced labor account. You can use it as well for. Okay. Just fix that. And IQ is built in 135. And you'll see IQ actually warns you now. Previously it didn't, previous versions, because of where people were complaining about, oh, my stock holding is not balancing with my stock on hand account. Previously there weren't these checks in. It says your purchases and your stock account cannot be the same. It would just allow you. You can basically make all of them the same, and it will allow you to do that without even warning you, which means when you start processing or purchasing in these accounts, it just doesn't tie up. Okay, so yeah, it forces you to change it. Now you can see this is pre-going before they brought in the changes, because this demo account is quite old. Just if everything is set up correctly, it then will allow it to go through. Okay, so this is a stock item. It's linked to a stock department, a stockholder, something we're going to buy and sell, and it's very important not to crisscross this, because that's when your imbalances will happen. Okay, and same thing if you're dealing with a non-stock item. Sorry, I have some other companies which we're syncing down to. So again, we're looking at a labor or service of a non-stock item. Okay. So the key things to remember here is that stock items must be linked to a perpetual stock department. Non-stock items must be linked to a periodic stock department. Okay, and once that is set up in that way, it will not mess up unless there's a serious flaw or bug or something like that. But your stock should always then be balancing. Okay, if we go back in here,